Welcome to the Introductory Overview of JKnit HD. I'm Julia and will be bringing to you a series of video tutorials that cover general and advanced topics to help you master the app. This episode covers JKnit HD, the iPad version of the app. In essence, JKnit HD is an app that gives you easy to follow row-by-row instructions while you're knitting and helps you manage all your knitting projects. From the main menu, you can navigate to different parts of the app. Let's take a look at the knitting projects first by pressing the Knit button. This will take you to the next screen where you can see a list of all your knitting projects. You can sort these projects by different criteria, add a new project, or delete a project by swiping across the cell. JKnit HD comes preloaded with an example project, the baby cable vest. Tap on it to view its contents. I set up this project in two different pieces, back and front, which will be knit separately. The pattern also included the cable chart, which I input as a block. I can then reuse the block in any piece of the project. We will cover blocks in much more detail in a separate tutorial. When you're ready to knit a piece, tap on it and it will take you to its counter screen. In JKnit, there's only one counter per piece, and all instructions are automatically scheduled to appear in the appropriate rows. As you advance each row, you can see the instructions appear on the screen. Many times you will have instructions that start at a specific height, not in a particular row. These are what we call height events in JKnit. You will have to add these events to the counter manually when you reach the specified height, and as a reminder of when to do that, you can find a list of all height events in the counter screen. Let's say you're knitting and at this row you reach the height at which you want to add your first height event. Find the event that you want to add in the list of height events and press Start. You will see it appear in the counter in the current row. If this event repeats, then all repeats are automatically scheduled to appear in the appropriate rows. On the screen you can not only read the instructions for this row, but also other useful information for each event. You can see if an event is just an alert or if it's an increase or decrease. There's also more information about the occurrence of each event and if it's part of a block. For each event in this list, you can see even more detailed information in the Event Details portion of the screen. Here you can read the complete note, which will become scrollable if it doesn't fit, and review event occurrence statistics. Also, if this event is part of a block, you can see more information about this block. You can get the details for each event by tapping on the corresponding row. But if you prefer, you can also hide this portion of the screen. If you just want to see the instructions, you can use the Zoom button. Here you can adjust the size and review all the instructions for the current row. Another useful feature is the stitch count, which keeps track of the number of stitches in each row. It's automatically updated if there are any increases or decreases. If you would like to review or change the setup of this piece, press on Setup and it will take you to its setup screen. Here you can change the piece settings, review the list of all events, and change the settings for each of the events. Please refer to our other tutorials for more details on how to set up pieces and events. You may notice help buttons like these throughout the app. Tap on them to get help on a variety of topics. From this screen, we can switch back to the counter, but let's go to pieces and blocks for now. There's a lot of other project info that you can access from the screen. You can see a list of all your project photos and view them as a slideshow. You can also add photos from your library, and on devices that have a camera, you will be able to take a picture and add it to your JKnit project directly. There's also space for your project notes, and you can keep track of the materials such as yarn, needles and other materials. Another interesting feature in JKnit is the timeline. JKnit automatically keeps track of the time you spend knitting and displays that accumulated time here. Let's now navigate back to the main menu. There are a couple of settings that you can change here. Turning off the sleep timer will prevent the app from falling asleep while you're using JKnit. Also, as you become more familiar with the app, you may wish to turn off the help buttons. The web portal is a separate web application that you can use to set up your JKnit projects on any computer. To create your free account, go to jknit-portal.com. Then you can log in to your account from your device and see a list of projects that you have stored on the web portal. You can import any of these projects or export any of your local projects to the web portal. You can then use the portal to transfer these projects to any other device, including an iPod Touch or iPhone running JKnit. I hope you enjoyed this overview of JKnit HD. For more details on specific topics, as well as tips and tricks, please take a look at our other tutorials.